Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm really glad we're finally tackling this topic.
Oh, yeah. What makes you say that?
Well, it seems like everywhere I turn lately, people are talking about freelance admin skills, but what does that actually mean?
You're right. It's one of those things that can seem kind of vague, right?
Totally. So, to help us unpack all of this, we're diving into this awesome blog post by Amjad Izhar. Have you seen this one?
I have really insightful stuff. He doesn't just tell you which admin skills are hot right now, but like how to actually use that knowledge to, actually do something with it.
Okay, so let's get into it. Izhar kicks things off by talking about what he calls the big three of freelance admin skills: virtual assistance, data entry, and project management.
And he's not wrong. These are like the cornerstones.
Totally. But I think it'd be helpful to dig a little deeper, like what really makes each one unique and why are they so in demand?
Right. Because it's more than just the name, right? Like take virtual assistants, for example.
Okay, yeah. It's become so big, especially with so many people working remotely these days.
Exactly. And it makes sense if businesses are going to embrace this whole remote work thing. They're going to need people who can, handle all those essential tasks from anywhere.
So it's about more than just answering emails and scheduling meetings.
Way more. A good VA is like the backbone of a business, handling client communication, managing social media, even taking care of travel arrangements. They wear a lot of hats.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't even realize all that fell under the VA umbrella.
It's a lot. And the demand is huge. Upwork, they're like the go-to platform for freelancers, found that VA roles have just skyrocketed recently.
Okay, that's really good to know. Especially, if you're thinking about maybe dipping your toes into the freelance world.
Absolutely. And even if you never plan to be a VA, understanding what they do can make you a much better client when you need to hire one.
Oh, that's such a good point. Okay, on to the next member of this big three, data entry. I'll be honest, it doesn't sound super glamorous.
I get it, but hear me out. It might not sound as exciting as, travel planning or something.
Your social media.
Right. But it's seriously important. Think about it. Data entry is the foundation for, so many business decisions.
That's true, I guess. It's without accurate data, how can you really know what's going on in your business?
Exactly. Imagine this. You run an online store,
Yes.
right? And someone accidentally puts in the wrong price for a product.
Uh-oh. Recipe for disaster, depending on which way the mistake goes.
Totally. And that's just one example. Accurate data entry is crucial in healthcare, finance. Pretty much every industry relies on good data.
So if you're someone who thrives on detail, who actually enjoys making sure things are accurate.
This could be a really good fit.
Okay, that makes sense. On to the last member of our big three, project management.
All right. This one is all about herding cats. Deadlines, budgets, creative teams, you name it.
Right. It's you need to be organized, decisive, able to wrangle all these different personalities.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart, but it's also in crazy high demand. The Project Management Institute, they're predicting nearly 88 million project management roles will be needed globally by 2027.
Wait, 88 million? Seriously?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I mean, think about it. In today's world, everyone needs someone to keep projects on track and actually get stuff done, right?
Totally. Okay, so we've covered the big three: virtual assistance, data entry, and project management.
But we're just getting started. There are so many other in-demand admin skills out there. Some of them might really surprise you.
Really? Okay, what? Give me an example.
All right, how about this social media management?
Ooh, okay. That's one I've definitely heard thrown around a lot. But what does it actually mean beyond just, posting on Instagram?
Right, it's not just about cute cat pictures. This is about crafting a brand's entire online presence. It can make or break a business, especially those trying to reach customers online, which, let's face it, is most businesses these days.
Seriously. And it seems like the rules are always changing. New platforms, new algorithms.
Exactly. It's about more than just posting. It's about connecting with your audience, building relationships, and ultimately driving those sales.
So it's part marketing, part customer service, part tech wizardry.
You got it. It's a lot to juggle, but for those who are good at it.
Super in demand.
Exactly. And it's just one example. We haven't even touched on customer support, bookkeeping, email management.
Okay, wait, hold on. This is a lot to take in.
I know, right? We've barely scratched the surface.
So I think we need to take a quick break to let everyone digest all of this amazing information. We'll be back soon with even more on these in-demand admin skills.
It really makes you realize, wow, there's a whole world of skills out there that I never even thought about,
It's almost a little overwhelming. Like, where do you even start if you're thinking about like actually pursuing some of these skills?
That's where I think Ishar's advice is really helpful. Like, he emphasizes that you don't have to become a master of everything.
Right? More about like picking your battles.
Exactly. Focus on a few key areas that really resonate with you, where your strengths and interests line up, and then really hone those skills.
Makes sense. So it's less about being a jack of all trades and more about like becoming a specialist in a few key areas.
Exactly. Because the freelance world especially, it's constantly evolving,
Yeah.
right? So being able to adapt, learn new things, that's key.
It's like that saying, sharpen the saw. If you want to stay competitive, you got to keep learning and growing.
100%. Whether it's like familiarizing yourself with the latest project management software or finding ways to be even more efficient with your data entry, there's always room for improvement.
So true. Okay, so out of all the skills we've talked about today, which ones like really stood out to you?
I have to admit that travel planning one really piqued my interest. Maybe it's the travel bug in me, but the idea of like taking all the stress out of business trips for people, that sounds kind of cool.
Right. Plus, you'd get to live vicariously through their itineraries.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll be calling you up to plan the deep dive team retreat.
No, that's an offer I wouldn't say no to. Okay, but in all seriousness, this whole conversation has really opened my eyes to how much variety there is within the like admin world.
Yeah.
It's so much more than just, what people typically think.
Right. It's not just about being organized, although that definitely helps. It's about being resourceful, tech savvy, a good communicator.
And in high demand.
Exactly. Which is
Yeah.
like the best of both worlds.
Right.
Like, you get to do something you enjoy,
Yeah.
and you're in a field that's actually growing.
Okay, so we've talked about all these in-demand skills, but I think it's time to like bring it back down to earth a little. Like, what can our listeners actually do with all of this information?
It's time to put on our action hats.
I like it. Let's do it. All right, listeners. So we've thrown a ton of information your way about these awesome in-demand admin skills, but now what? We don't want you to just like file this episode away and forget about it, right?
Yeah, it's time to take all this good stuff and actually do something with it.
I'm with you. What do you suggest?
Well, I love a good challenge.
Yeah.
How about this? Think back through everything we've talked about today. All those different skills, from project management to travel planning to, even good old-fashioned data entry. What piqued your interest the most?
It doesn't have to be something you're picturing yourself doing professionally either. Maybe you're just curious about like what a day in the life of a social media manager actually looks like.
Exactly. Just that little spark of curiosity, that's all it takes sometimes.
Okay, so say something sparked your interest. What's next?
Here's the challenge. Spend just 15 minutes. That's it. Researching that skill a little bit further.
15 minutes. That's doable.
Right. You've got 15 minutes, right?
I can find 15 minutes for sure.
Awesome. So set a timer, grab your phone or laptop, and just see what's out there. What are the essential tools people in that field use? What's the average salary? Or if you're thinking freelance, what kind of rates do people charge? Maybe even just read a few blog posts or articles about what a typical day looks like.
Who knows? That little 15-minute deep dive could lead to something amazing.
Exactly. Or maybe it just gives you a fresh perspective on your current skills and how you can, level up in your own work. Either way, it's a win-win.
Totally agree. Well, this has been a really fun deep dive. I feel like I learned so much, and hopefully our listeners did too.
Me too. It's a good reminder that there's always something new to discover, and that even those skills we might think of as basic can actually open up a world of possibilities.
So well said. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of freelance admin skills. We'll see you next time for another exciting deep dive.